There was a study done of thousands of 16-year-olds, and they were asked two questions. Question number one was, how many times in your life have you been told the word no? That was question number one. Okay? How many times in your life, from the age that you can remember to now, do you think you have been told the word no? Okay? How many times? Think of it per day, per week, and we can times it up, however you want to think of it. The average response from that population was 148,000 no's. From the age that you can remember to the age of 16. Okay? Now sometimes we say no to keep children safe. If my daughter runs across the road and there's a car coming, I'll go no, 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 no. Now there's like 4 no's straight away. Yeah? So sometimes we do that to keep them safe. However, the command no is it stops your thinking dead. Okay, it kind of mutes the thinking going on, and the average response was 148,000 no's. Okay, they were then asked the second question: how many times in your life has somebody sat down and told you that you can achieve anything you want if you put your mind to it, and you'll be great at whatever you do? And the average response from that population, the same population, was 3 times. I know this writing should be a bit bigger. I apologise, I normally do that a bit bigger. So you've got 148,000 no's versus on average 3. You can achieve whatever you want. Okay. Now that study was quite old. I think that's probably changed a little bit over the years. Okay. There hasn't been a study done similar like it, otherwise I would have used it. Not that I'm aware of anyway. And the key thing here is the imbalance. Okay, so even if these numbers have changed slightly over the years, I will put every penny that I own on a bet to say, for the majority of people on the planet, there is no balance in the self-talk. What I mean by that is there is more no's and hindering stuff than there is yeses and helpful stuff that goes on for people. And for me, it doesn't really matter about the actual numbers. It was the gap that was the difference between the two. And we talk to ourselves in a bad way far more than we talk to ourselves in a good way. We also talk to other people far more in a bad way than we do in a good way, even if we're not realising it to people. You know, whether you're kind of like, oh, you're rubbish at names, you are, oh, you're crap at that. It's not really your thing, that, is it? All that type of stuff that we just say, even if we say it in jest, it goes into the psyche and it comes out in the behaviour and in the performance, more importantly, going forward. So I wanted to share that with you because there's a gap. There's a major gap between how often we talk to ourselves in a bad way and how often we talk to ourselves in a good way. One of the questions I ask people regularly, some people on this call, well, I've probably asked you this before, the question, rhetorical question in this situation, when's the last time you beat yourself up about something? This morning? Getting on this call? Trying to meet yourself? Yesterday? It will happen, it would have happened quite regularly. And then the other question is, when's the last time you sat yourself down and reminded yourself what you were good at? Because that doesn't happen as often, anywhere near as often. In fact, sometimes on my courses, I give people 60 seconds to write down how great they are on a piece of paper. In other words, what they're good at. Words would describe them when they're at their best. I give them 60 seconds, and some people really struggle to write anything. And so the people that do write stuff only write 2 or 3 things. Yet if I was to ask them the question, write down all the words that you can think of when you're at your worst, well, those words come a lot quicker. And the reason they come a lot quicker is because you know what, you talk to yourself in a bad way more than you talk to yourself in a good way, and other people talk to yourself in a bad way more than they talk to you in a good way. And I know we're trying to bring some balance to that force in our society now about saying the right thing and, you know, well-being and mindfulness, and this is what it's all about. It's all about bringing that balance back and actually stop beating ourselves up and start talking to us in a healthy way. So let's have a look at this. The study was done in 1986, like I said, so it's quite an old study. Those numbers might have changed, but I'd still wager everything I've got on the fact that there is an imbalance in that self-talk, okay? And some people might have talked to themselves 100 to 200 times, even 1,000 times, if they've been lucky enough over the years and they've learned a little bit about this stuff and so on and so on and so on. Okay?